In this lesson, we're going to talk about translations, specifically being able to graph a translation. But first, let's talk about some vocabulary. We need to know that a preimage is the object being transformed. So usually it's something like a triangle, a line, a graph. It really could be anything. It's just whatever we start with. Then we transform it in some way. It's a function that changes the preimage into the image. It could be a rotation, a reflection, translation, or a rotation. And the image is the object that results. It's what's been transformed. Okay, it is the transformation. Usually we represent any transformation with a symbol that denotes it as prime. So if we have a preimage C, we transform it by either translating it or something like that, and we get the image C prime, and we usually represent that with an apostrophe. Okay, so translation rules. We can either do a description, a vector, or a coordinate. Now just know that A is whether I'm going left or right, B is whether I'm going up or down. And right and up are always positive, left and down are always negative. Okay, so the description usually tells us how to do it. It's usually the easiest on a graph. But if we're just doing the coordinates, then the vector and the coordinate forms are probably the easiest ways to go about doing this. The vector just tells us A and B. You know, if it's positive 4 and negative 3, it will say 4, negative 3. And then in the coordinate form, it actually puts in their A and B and tells you how to do it. It kind of gives you a rule for any XY coordinate pair. Okay, we'll see a couple examples coming up. Okay, so we've got the problem of translating triangle ABC right 4 units and down 3 units. So what are the coordinates of point C? Well, you can see from the picture of the graph that the coordinates of point C are 2, 1. So I'm going to do this in all 3 ways. So we know that we're going to the right 4 units. So that's plus 4. We're going down 3 units. And that's a minus 3. Okay. So, in vector form, that's going to be 4, negative 3. And notice I'm using these different parentheses. These signify a vector. Okay. So I've got those. And now for the coordinate form. We're going to have coordinate xy is changing to x plus 4, y minus 3. Now this is the rule, so it works for any coordinate. So for vector and coordinate form, it actually means essentially the same thing. So it means that I'm going to take my x coordinate, which C is at 2, 1. So I'm going to do 2 plus 4, because it's positive, I'm moving right, and I'm going to do 1 minus 3. So C prime is going to be 6, negative 2. Okay, so what does that look like on the graph? Well, one of the things to actually perform a translation on a graph is I need to draw a vector. So the vector is 4, negative 3. So I'm going to pick point C here, and I'm going to go, okay, so there's 2, so 4, or wait, I'm going to the right. So there's, let's see, there's 4, because each of those represents 1, and I'm going to go down 3. So I'm already down 1, 2, 3. All right, and I'm going to translate from here to here. and I'm translating triangle ABC, and that's what it looks like there. Alright, so in example 2, we're going to translate polygon ABCD along the vector -3, -2. We want to know what the coordinate is of the point that's going to be above the x-axis. Now, unless you have access to a graphing utility, it's more likely going to be that you're just going to take this vector and add it to each of these points. Point A, I'm going to add -3 and -2 to the x and y coordinates. So -2 plus -3 gives me -5. 1 plus -2 gives me -1. So A prime is at -5, -1. And we're going to do that for each of these here. Okay. B prime is going to be at -2 and 0.5. C prime is going to be at -1, -2. And D prime is going to be at -3, -2. So there's only one that has a positive y coordinate, and that is B prime. So that is the answer to this. Now, as a visual, what we'll do is we're going to take this right here, we're going to move it along the vector, -3, -2. Now, if you notice, each of these blocks here represents half of one. So, if I go -3, -2, that means 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Alright, now transform. I want to translate it from here to here. And I could have picked any of the points and apply. So as we see, that is the only spot there because its image is above here still. Its pre-image is here, its image goes to here.